Welcome to the Machine Solutions channel, where we explore the fascinating journey of wood, starting deep in the forest and ending in the form of lumber that builds our homes, schools, and communities. For centuries, logging has been a foundation of American life. From the early days of pioneers cutting trees with axes and hand saws, to today's advanced machines, the industry has changed dramatically. What once took days of backbreaking labor can now be done in minutes with specialized equipment. This channel takes you inside that transformation. Here you'll see how forests are managed responsibly, how timber is harvested safely, and how powerful machines handle work that would be impossible for humans alone. You'll also see how wood moves from logs into clean, precise boards in sawmills, and how nothing goes to waste. Chips, bark, and sawdust are all reused for paper, pellets, or renewable energy. For many of you watching, perhaps you remember growing up in or near logging towns. You may recall the sound of chainsaws in the distance, or the sight of log trucks rolling down the highway. Today, those memories are carried forward by new generations of loggers, supported by machines that are bigger, faster, and smarter than ever before. Machine Solutions is more than a channel about machinery. It's about understanding an industry that touches all our lives. Every wooden floor, every deck, every kitchen cabinet begins with a tree. And behind each of those trees is a chain of work, skill, and technology that deserves to be seen and appreciated. So settle in and join us. Together, we'll follow wood's journey from standing timber in the American forest, through the process of logging, transporting, sawing, and grading, all the way to the factory where finished boards are shipped worldwide. Our story begins in the forest, with one of the most impressive logging machines ever built, the TigerCat LS855C shovel logger. Out in the rugged forests of the United States, harvesting trees is no small task. The terrain can be steep, the trees enormous, and the work dangerous. That's why machines like the TigerCat LS855C shovel logger are so important. This isn't just a piece of heavy equipment. It's a purpose-built forestry machine designed to handle massive logs with speed and precision. With its long boom and specialized grapple, the LS855C can pick up, swing, and place trees as though they were toothpicks. Instead of dragging logs across fragile soil, the shovel logger moves them in controlled steps, protecting the forest floor and waterways. For those who recall the days of cable yarding, where teams of men struggled with steel lines and winches, this is a whole new world. Today, an operator sits inside a comfortable, climate-controlled cab with panoramic views. They guide the machine with joysticks, relying on hydraulics and sensors to do the hard lifting. It's safer, more efficient, and far less physically demanding than the logging methods of old. Watching the LS855C in action is mesmerizing. Each movement is deliberate, as it carefully stacks timber at the roadside, ready for loading. The machine's power lies not just in its strength, but in its ability to work on uneven, sloped ground where other equipment would struggle. Modern shovel logging is about efficiency and sustainability. By moving logs in short, careful steps rather than long drags, soil compaction is minimized and the forest can regenerate more quickly. It's a great example of how technology is reshaping forestry into a practice that's both productive and environmentally aware. From here, the logs are loaded onto trucks. These trucks carry them from remote forest roads down to sawmills, where they'll begin the next stage of their transformation. But before we get to the mill, let's take a moment to see how logging also connects with local communities through projects like the Good Neighbor Authority in Idaho. In North Idaho, forestry is more than industry, it's a partnership. Under the Good Neighbor Authority, state and federal agencies work together to manage forests responsibly. Here, logging operations aren't just about cutting trees. They're about protecting communities from wildfires, supporting wildlife habitats, and providing timber for local mills. Trees are carefully selected, harvested, and transported, ensuring the forest remains healthy for decades to come. For many Americans, programs like this highlight the balance between economy and environment. They ensure that forests provide both jobs and long-term sustainability. With the logs now harvested and transported, our journey continues to the sawmill, where the raw material of the forest becomes the lumber that shapes our daily lives. Trucks roll into the yard stacked high with timber harvested from the surrounding forests. Each log carries the history of decades of growth, some standing tall in the woods for 50, 80, or even 100 years before being harvested. The logs are unloaded into massive decks, sorted by species and size. Pine, fir, spruce, and hardwoods all have different destinations. Powerful machines, equipped with grapples, stack them into neat piles, ready for the debarking line.
förra gången, då stod den still.
Det blir väl inte varmt förrän du slår in i hål.
Debarking comes next. Logs pass through machines with spinning metal teeth that strip away the rough outer bark. This protects the saw blades and ensures clean cuts. The bark doesn't go to waste. It's collected and used as mulch or as fuel to power the mill's boilers. After debarking, each log is scanned with lasers and X-rays. Computers calculate the optimal cuts to maximize usable lumber while minimizing waste. It's a modern version of a job that once relied solely on the sawyer's trained eye. The computer determines, should this log become 2x4s for construction, wide beams for bridges, or boards for furniture. Next comes sawing. Logs pass through massive bandsaws and gang saws that slice them into boards. The process is fast. Logs move down the line, and in seconds, what was once a tree trunk becomes a neat stack of planks. These boards are then sorted and graded. Advanced scanners identify knots, cracks, and defects, while operators ensure quality standards are met. Each board is directed to its proper use. Premium boards may become flooring or cabinetry. Lower grades may become pallets or packaging. Drying is the next step. Freshly sawn lumber contains a great deal of moisture. To make it stable, it must be dried. At the mill, enormous kilns carefully reduce moisture levels, bringing boards to the right balance for strength and durability. This step is critical. Proper drying prevents warping, shrinking, and cracking later. Once dry, boards move through planers that smooth their surfaces and cut them to exact dimensions. Now they resemble the lumber you'd see at your local hardware store, clean, straight, and uniform. Byproducts from the mill are never wasted. Sawdust is collected and compressed into pellets for heating. Wood chips are shipped to paper mills. Even tiny offcuts are burned to generate renewable energy, often powering the mill itself. The finished lumber is bundled, wrapped, and shipped. From here, it travels by truck and train to distributors, builders, and factories. Some will stay in the United States, while other loads will cross oceans to markets around the world. Think of it. A tree that stood in a quiet American forest just weeks ago may soon be part of a home, a deck, or a piece of furniture. For many older viewers, this process may bring back memories of local sawmills buzzing with activity. Today, mills are larger, faster, and cleaner, but the essence remains the same: transforming raw timber into the materials that build our lives. Beyond sawmills, the American wood industry extends into factories where lumber is further processed into specialty products. Some plants focus on engineered wood, like laminated beams, particle board, or plywood, that provide incredible strength for modern construction. These facilities, like their European counterparts, rely on precision grading and careful use of resources. Every piece of wood is measured, classified, and used where it will perform best. Quality is critical, whether the timber is going into a family's home or a commercial building. Energy use is another area where the industry is evolving. Many mills power their operations with renewable energy generated from their own byproducts. This not only reduces waste but also makes the industry a contributor to America's clean energy future. From the forest to the factory, every step of the journey reflects both tradition and innovation. And so our journey comes full circle, from towering trees in the American forest, through the powerful machines that harvest and move them, into the sawmills that cut and grade them, and finally, to the factories where they're prepared for use in homes and communities. Thank you for joining us on Machine Solutions. If you enjoyed this look at the world of logging and timber, be sure to subscribe for more. Until next time, take care.